What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we're doing another Sunday analysis for USDCAD. Today is Sunday, November 19th, 2023, and we're going to be talking about what price did last week and what we're anticipating it to do next week. Alright, so last week we talked about how we are in this range, from this range low to this range high. If we measured it with our fib, we get the 50% point right here, which marks our PD array. Okay, so we have our premium zone right here, and we have our discount zone right here. So whenever we're in premium, we want to be selling because price is expensive. And whenever we're in discount, we want to be buying because price is at a discounted price. Alright, so last week we can clearly see that we are consolidating from this high to this low right here. Let me just draw it out real quick. We've just been consolidating, so I don't like seeing this type of price action. Okay, I want to see some sort of strong displacement move to indicate what price is doing and where it's likely to go. So since we're in a premium zone right here, I'm not necessarily looking for buys, although my ultimate bias is bullish because I'm targeting this weekly range high up here. Since all of this liquidity has been swept, I want to see this high get taken out. But before it does that, I would like to see price tap into the discount zone and then continue going higher and ultimately sweep out this weekly range high. So last week we see that price simply is consolidating within this range right here. I want to see price break out of this range, whether it be break to the upside or break to the downside. I want to see price break out of this range for me to get a better idea of what it is that price is doing, because while it's consolidating, it's not giving us enough information to really understand what it is or where it's trying to go. So what I'm anticipating for price to do is break below this range right here, tap into the discount zone of this entire daily range, rebalance this daily BISI fair value gap, and if it respects this fair value gap, then I would see price make its way higher after it does that. And it could do that with strong energy. But that's only if price respects this daily fair value gap. Now, if it breaks through this low and then continues going lower and then violates this fair value gap, then it will turn into an inversion fair value gap. So it would, in a way, act as a form of resistance for it to continue going lower and sweep this liquidity right here and tap into the imbalances and rebalance the imbalances that we see right here. And if we go down to the lower time frames, we'll see more imbalances right here. And what do we see right here, right below this imbalance? We see that there's an order block right here. So this order block was the last down close candle that created this large displacement leg that swept through this buy side and these relatively equal highs right here. So we know that the large institutions, they've placed a lot of buy orders right here. So if we see price come back, if we see price come back to this level, we know that this is where institutions have placed a lot of large buy orders. So we could see it come down to this order block and then continue going higher if this order block is valid. Now the only way to do that is to let price play out a little bit longer, give us more information so we could read the data that it's giving us, so we can understand what it is that it's wanting to do. Okay, so now we go to the 4-hour time frame, and we see that price tapped into this 4-hour inversion fair value gap, respected it. It just spiked right into it. Okay, It just barely trimmed the edge. Respected it, consolidated a little bit, and then we created some liquidity right here. Price swept through this liquidity. As we see right here, it swept through this liquidity, and then it completely purged lower. Okay, so when it purged lower, now this is on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, we know that price already swept these equal highs that we discussed last week, which I'll show you again. We have these relatively equal highs right here that have been swept right here. Now once it swept these relatively equal highs, it displaced lower. So going back to the 4-hour time frame, we see that it swept the weekly highs, swept liquidity again, and then finally it displaced lower with huge momentum. Now, when it ran lower, it took out all of this liquidity right here and shifted in market structure here. So price went back up to pull back, rebalanced all of these imbalances that were left behind, tapped into the 4-hour inversion fair value gap that's resting right over here, and then continued going lower, creating another shift in market structure. And this is all happening inside of the premium zone of this daily range. Okay, so once it shifted market structure right here, let me just draw it out. Once it shifted in market structure, it pulled back, retraced, rebalanced this large SIBI imbalance, and is continuing to go lower. Now, what I'm anticipating price to do in the next coming week or couple of weeks, depending on when price breaks out of this range, I'm anticipating price to come down into the discount zone, at least rebalance this daily fair value gap, tap into the order block, which on the 4-hour we can refine it into this order block right here, because this was the last order block, was the last down close candle from this consolidation move that created this large displacement leg that broke structure and swept through all of this buy side right here. This was the order block that created that change of character and price. So I would like to see the price tap into this discount zone, okay, or break through this low, which marks out this entire range right here. I want to see price break out of this range to the downside into the discount zone, violate this fair value gap, tap into this order block, and if it respects it, then I want to see it showing me signs of buyers coming in order to take out this weekly range high right here. So this is what I have analyzed coming in the next week. So am I going to be taking any trades next week? Most probably not. I'm going to be waiting to watch price and see what it wants to do. So what I'm going to do is place alerts at this range low and at this range high. So once either of these alerts get triggered, then I'm going to base my analysis to see what it is that I want to do and what price is most likely going to do. Now, just to recap what I said, we have been consolidating last week, and this week I want to see, this week or the next coming weeks, no, I don't know how long it's going to take, but once this range gets broken, whether to the upside or to the downside, that's when I want to start looking for opportunities to get into the trades. But until then, since it's still consolidating, I'm going to sit on the sidelines because I'm not going to chase price. I'm not going to chase trades because that's low probability trade entries. There might be some good setups, but without a clear bias, you're gambling at that point. So when it's consolidating like this, my bias is really neutral. But overall, my ultimate bias, keep in mind, since we swept through all this liquidity right here and shifted the market structure higher, my ultimate bias is bullish. Now, to look for long entries in this market, I'm not going to take any buys in a premium zone. I'm only going to be looking for buys in the discount zone. So are there any opportunities right here where price is likely to come down to? Are there any reasons why price would come down to this discount zone? Yes. Why? We have liquidity right here. We have liquidity right here. We have an imbalance right here. And we have an order block right here. And this is all sitting inside of the discount zone. So we have a strong reason why price would come down into this discount zone before it continues going higher. So what I want to do for next week, and until this price range right here is broken, I'm going to just sit out and gather more data, gather more information, give price room to breathe so I can get an understanding of what price wants to do. Since right now I have a neutral bias, I want to wait to see where price is going once it gives me more data to really nail down that bias. Okay, so ultimately I have a bullish bias, but coming into next week, until this range is broken, I have an internal neutral bias. Alright, so this is what we have this Sunday for this video. I hope you found some value. If you did, please leave a like at this video. And if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, smash that subscribe button. And until next time, guys, I will see you then. Goodbye.